Well, it's Friday, and it's about quarter to 8 in the morning. Kevin's on his way, should be here shortly. And we're going to work on this visor this morning. Have a list of small items that we're going to do. And I'll just for grins, in case you ever want to see, this is the type of work order I use. They're numerical. And it's just listing all the small items that the client wants done. Oil check and this check and look for leaks and maybe possible electrical glitch in the headlight and stuff like that. It's a list of small things, and let us pray that it does not become anything large or nothing turns into a big thing. That's where we are. We're going to get started. Right now I'll hook up the battery and see what's happening in the headlight. Okay, quick change of plans. Client says that there's a belt drive in here. Should not be any oil. He wants me to check to make sure that there's no leakage from the engine into the primary. So I'm going to open the primary and check. He also says the clutch is, I don't know how I described it, but when I pull this lever, it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't, first of all, the adjustment is wrong, but so I'm going to open the primary. That's my first thing this morning. I'm just going to pull the primary cover off and take a look at the clutch. Good place to start. Okay, I got the brake rod disconnected and taken away. By the way, if you use a wrench to tighten this down and take the pressure off the rod, it makes it easier to unscrew the end. So let's see, that's out of the way, and I'm getting ready to take the foot peg out of the way so I can take the cover off. Now, here's a this is a left-handed nut. Always remember and never forget, this is a left-handed nut. I had a good buddy, Barney, love the man. He one day didn't realize that, so he really wanted to take it off, and he used about a 6-foot cheater bar on his socket, and he did, by gosh, get that nut off by turning it to the left. That's when he discovered it's a left-handed nut. So don't forget, it's a left-handed nut, so you have to go to the in rather than the out to take it off. Okay? And that's the way it is. Well, we've got all the bolts out of the primary covers down to the last one. I'm going to take that out, and we'll open the cover and see if any oil comes splushing out. Let's find out. Yeah, that one didn't even go all the way through. Okay, so all bolts are out. All bolts are out. Yep, all bolts are out. There it is. Nice and dry. Beautiful belt. My goodness. That is lovely. All right, well, that's good news. There's no oil leakage in there. Boy, what a belt. That is just a beautiful piece of equipment. My goodness. Wow. Okay, I'm going to check the throwout adjustment. I'm going to the spacing adjustment on the release rod, and I'll take you through the process. All right, first and foremost, you release the clutch cable from the lever, and unfortunately I can't do it right just by pulling it out, so I'm going to take the lever itself off in order to release the clutch cable. this is not, let's see, here I am. Okay. This is not the original clutch lever pivot pin. It's a threaded bolt. I do the same thing, but I use a shouldered bolt so that when it pivots, it's pivoting on the bolt's shoulder instead of threads. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, what I use is a bolt like this, and I cut it off right about here. That way the lever is sliding on the shoulder rather than a threaded surface. So I'll replace that with this. All right, step next, once we've got this completely disconnected. All right, now there can't be any question as to whether or not this is loose. It feels rough, so I'm going to put some oil down it. And what I've got, which is really kind of cool, is a little bottle. Yeah, I keep finding you have to find the area. Okay, this is a bottle with this really fine tip on it with some very lightweight oil, and I use it to just stick the oil pin in here and shoot oil into it. And I just keep adding drop after drop as it disappears. Hope you're seeing that. Let's see if that was in the frame. I think it was. I'll tilt it back just a little bit more. You can actually see the oil disappearing if you put it on one drop at a time. Just add enough until you feel like you've probably got enough oil in there for the whole thing. The routing isn't bad. I'll tell you straight up, I don't like these routing adapters that BSA uses, these offsets with the O-ring in them. Frankly, I always take them off and just let the cables float. I think that floaty cables that are allowed to flex, work better than restrained cables. All right, so let's go down here now and check the throw out down here. Bet it's metric. Well, it's not American and it's not British. And not that. We're working our way up to it. 17. And 17 is about the best I can come up with, 17 metric. Loosen that. Let's see if it's a metric Allen screw. In here. Here comes Kevin. All right, so let's see. It's right now, if I do this, it is 1/2, 3/4 of a turn away from touching. Right now it's touching. Okay, right here. I turn it back, so it's just touching here, and then I give it about a 1/4 turn. Right about like that. That's all the clearance you need. A 1/4 turn. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to tighten this down. Good morning. And then, as a finale, I give this a wrap right about here. And that'll lock it in place. Now we'll put the lever back on and give it a try and see if it feels any better. All right, I'm going to put the clutch lever back on, and I told you about replacing that bolt that was in there. This is what I use. It's a shouldered bolt, and I cut it off to the point where this nylock will just fit on there, and then it with 2 small washers, one above and one below, will center the lever, and the lever will now swivel on the shoulder rather than on the threaded surface. So I'm going to put that in right now. Okay, now that you've adjusted the thread rod, or the release rod clearance, put the cable back in and adjust the cable clearance, which I like about 1/4 inch or so, because I like it tight. Adjust it to fit your own riding preferences. To me, that's good. And this feels a whole lot better. Whereas before it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Now it feels really good.
Just adjustments.
All right, now take a look down here at this, and you'll see the clutch action. Okay, that looks good, feels good, plays good. We're going to leave it alone until we test ride the bike and prove that it's not good. All right, it's about 8:45. We've been working on the headlight wiring.
Now that help's arrived.
now that Kevin's here to take
The
care
cavalry has arrived.
and he's going to take care of all these electrical problems for us.
That's right.
And we had all the lights worked except for the tail light. We didn't check the instrument lights either, Kevin. We should make sure they're working.
Yeah.
And then we went back here to try to chase the wires to the back end of the bike, and discovered this interesting loom. And that's a brown blue, and this looks like it really should go to the rectifier. This is white for ignition, and this is
Brown green.
brown green? No, because look on this side, brown something else.
Oh, brown yellow here, huh?
So anyway, I took a look in here at the rectifier, and the alternator wires are going to it, but there's also a white wire going to the center. And that's a little strange. I'm beginning to think that something ain't right. This might be a late model wiring loom, but I haven't worked enough on the late models that are negative ground to know for a fact that this is wrong, but I do know it's wrong for positive ground. So we need to put the alternator wires here where they are, take this white wire off, and figure out exactly what's happening back here. This is just a little bit weird. I've got to strip these wires out and figure out what's going on. Okay, I'm working on the electrical, and let's just say I'm working on the electrical. Kevin was trying to get these boots stretched out. We put a clamp up here. We've got these fancy dancy spiffy clamps, and I don't like them. And we're gonna try to stretch this and get it down, but these boots seem very short. They should. We're gonna try to get them down. Okay, we're gonna try to get it down and over, and put a clamp on it. But what we're gonna do is I have used in the past some black clamps, black screw-on hose clamps. They look really good. I'm gonna try to find a source for some more and use those. I don't like these fancy dancy ones. They're really cool, but I don't like them. And I don't like the ones that Triumph used or BSA used originally with the screw. They're just horrible. Back here, Kevin has just corrected some wiring on the spark coils.
I'm not corrected it yet,
But that's what he's correcting it. The jumper between the two goes positive to negative, and he's fixing that. I've got these wires all split out and sourced and figured out, and I'm getting ready to reconnect the wires back here, so this is coming together. And then we get to work with some extra wires. So progress is being made, and it's a little bit of agony. And it's 10:20, so we've been on this about 2 hours or so, 2 hours and a little bit. So, all right, we continue. Okay, this has been a very full day. It's 3 o'clock, and I think we started at 8 o'clock this morning, and it's a very, very full day. Oh, we got new gas lines built, which we may or may not put the inline filter in. We'll decide that later. We got all the wiring up here complete with just a few more to be hooked up to the high-low beam switch on the handlebar. Got the ignition switch, had to take it out, and right now this is off. You can take the key out. This is on, ignition and lights. This is on, ignition and lights. And this is off. You can't take the key out in either of these positions, to the right or left, so you can't really have a park. So when that's on, there's power to the light switch, and you will have lights with ignition. And when it's off, everything goes off, including the lights. So that's done. All the extra wires and all the wiring down here is done. Just need to hook up this fuse assembly, and all these wires are tucked up under here nicely. This is a ground wire that I'm going to extend and run out to the tail light, because I don't like using ground for tail lights, so I'll run a separate ground wire out here right to the socket. And tail light and brake light work. We've tested those. And oh, it's been a tough day. Went through the primary, adjusted the clutch. So we got a lot done. Let's see. Oil and primary should be dry. It is. Clutch assembly adjust. Yes. We're still working on the electrical. Check the head gasket for a leak. We'll do that when we start it. Put clamp on the fork boots. We tried. Our clamps just won't work on these boots. These boots are very short. And we got this one clamped. And it's going to be very difficult to get this down over here. We can do it. We will do it. But they're very, very short. And I don't like the way these clamps are working. So we're not going to use those. We're going to get some different clamps. And no, I'm not going to use the ones that Triumph used. I really, really, really do not like those. I really, 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 really do not like those. The kind you put on and screw tight and then cut off the extra. I don't like those at all. Don't like them. So tune-up, timing, carb, etc. We haven't done. We did the carb. We need to do the valves. Clamp and fork boots. I'm going to order clamps. Oil leak training main shaft. Not that I saw. The bike has been sitting on a side stand just fine. We will check this again after we do the test ride. Spin the rear wheel, check for sound. There's no sound there. We spun the heck out of the rear wheel. But we haven't put the chain guard on yet. So once we get the chain guard on, we'll check it again. Headlight lens lock, we've installed that. The headlight wiring, I'm doing it now. And better brakes is still a question to be answered after the test ride. So we're making progress. And I have to work at Kevin's tomorrow. I promised him I would. So we'll get back on this probably, I don't even know what day of the week it is. The day after that. I'm way too retired. I don't know what day it is. Well, a little postscript before I hang up. It's 106 degrees, which, believe it or not, we in Phoenix can say, well, it's only 106. It's weird to hear somebody use the word only and 106 in the same sentence. So anyway, what I want to, oh, by the way, this is the time of year where here in Phoenix, you can get up in the morning and take a warm shower using only cold water. That's the truth. All right, one more thing. We got the brake shoes in for the 441 Victor, and these seem to be the right size and shape and form. So as soon as we can get the Victor up on the lift, we'll finish putting in the front brakes and be able to test ride it again. I think that's all. I'm gonna hang up now and go in and do paperwork and post this video.